Some habits are easier to keep than others. Ever since I got a cat, I've fed him pretty much every day. That said, I do get clawed in the face if I don't feed him, but a habit's a habit. Now, maintaining a daily writing habit is a touch more difficult. Despite the fact I don't get clawed in the face when I don't write, I've managed to create and maintain a very consistent daily writing habit. And I'm going to share an arbitrary number of tips to help you do just that. These are things that have helped me, and theoretically, they should help you too. Tip number 1, set a specific time. I think it's best to write at the same time every day. If you don't have a specific time to write, then you're more likely just to keep pushing it later and later into the day, or keep delaying when you actually start writing. If instead you always write before Fight Club, or always write just after Fight Club, it's more likely to become part of your daily routine. If it's part of your daily routine, then by definition, you're more likely to stick with it. Personally, I start writing every day at 5 a.m. because it sounds really impressive and it's a great thing to lord over people. And I'm usually getting clawed in the face around that time. Duncan likes his breakfast at 5 a.m., so. Tip number 2 is set a daily goal or target. Having a set target word count you want to write each day will help in a couple ways. First, it will give your daily writing time an endpoint. You know that once you've hit your target word count, you're finished for the day. Second, it will break a big task into many smaller ones. If you think of every day as a slow march towards the goal of writing a novel, it can become overwhelming. Instead, if you break it into manageable chunks of a certain word count per day, then it becomes a lot less intimidating. My target is to write 1,000 words in the hour that I spend writing each morning. I can usually hit this if I remember to use a lot of adverbs and filter words. Throw in some meaningless dialogue, add in some characters that don't have anything to do with the plot, they're just kind of there to take up space. And exposition. Lots of very detailed but ultimately not very relevant exposition. Tip number 3, rationalize what you're giving up. Spending more time writing likely means you'll be spending less time doing something else. If you're anything like me, the things you're giving up consist of staring at the internet, Tinder, and trying to dress the cat in his Freddy Krueger costume. Writing sucks at times. It's hard. It's like going to a dentist that doesn't believe in Novocaine. But over the long term, writing will give you more satisfaction and ultimately make you happier than engaging in those other activities. Now, I'm not saying that you should give up meaningful activities just to write. But if you're trading writing for activities that don't have much value, realize that you're trading long-term fulfillment for short-term pleasure. Once I internalized this fact that writing will ultimately make me happier in the long term, it made sitting down and writing every day much easier. And finally, number 4, get over the hump. One great thing about habits is they're, well, habits. After you've been doing something consistently for some time, you'll start to do it without really thinking about it. I won't go as far as to say it gets easier, but it does feel more automatic. I've been doing the first thing in the morning thing for a little over 8 months now. And I'm usually in front of my computer before my eyes are fully open and more than a third of my brain is operational. It just sort of happens. I don't have those same feelings of dread or foreboding that I had when I was developing this habit. At least not until 5 minutes after I sit down. Having a habit won't make the bad days go away, but it will get you past the point of at least starting on the bad days. Getting to that point requires time and consistency. That's the simple truth here. If you want to develop a habit, then you have to develop it. There's no shortcuts here, no magic way to instantly develop a habit. It takes work. It's hard. There's just no substitute for putting the time in. But once you get past the initial struggle, you'll be rewarded with some more ammunition to use on the days when you really don't feel like writing. And that's something that makes it all worthwhile. So there you have it. 4 things that helped me that also might help you. Another habit I have is these videos tend to end without any real conclusion. They usually just